I'm going to turn this on, this phone. Sorry you have to see my nostrils, but I take good care of them. And real big nostril fan. Okay, hold on here. I got to put a glove on because right now it's probably about 5 degrees. And my hand nearly froze. But that's the dedication I go to. Oh shit, there's a little bit of wind. I got to turn it around. I'm going to turn it around. Oh, this is cool. The selfie mode could help me walk backwards down a street. Okay. Scream if you see something coming at me. So, but it's story time, and story time doesn't wait, okay? It doesn't wait around for weather. It doesn't wait around for speeding cars, okay? It just has to happen. And it's related to the weather, you know, and I'm a guy, like, I'm kind of like a busted Google, you know? I get a keyword from the environment, and bloop, suddenly I'm just regurgitating a related event. Okay, so this probably was about 1987. Solid year. I would date Tammy Phillips briefly, but she was gorgeous. But then she'd kind of fall for my brother. God, what a dick. Anyway, so affectionately, I mean that, Peter. But anyway, so my dad could be a bit gruff, you know, and I had figured out ways to deal with that. And one of those ways was the ill-advised, just flee the home before there are consequences way. And I don't know, there's a couple times I did this, but this particular time I think was grades. And I did not like not getting good grades, and I was struggling with algebra. And I think maybe my mom asked me, and maybe it's over an episode of Magnum PI or something on the one channel we could barely get. And she asked me about algebra, and I just snapped. And in not handling it well, my dad realized, like an animal sniffing the air, he realized, he sensed the fear, he knew there was trouble, and I just had to go. So I left the house, which when you're at 9,000 feet and there's a lot of snow and it's wintertime, you know, maybe stay inside and use diplomacy. But me, I strapped on a pair of cross-country skis and jettisoned into the woods. Now, a thing about the skis, cross-country skis, is you have to have a special shoe that goes onto the cross-country ski. And God bless my mom, or your favorite deity of choice, she had gotten some shoes at maybe Salvation Army that I think were made of paper and prayer. And my feet in my normal socks would not last very long in the elements, especially with the sun having gone down. And so I skied in the moonlight and tried to get out of my system the angst around a D in algebra. And things started getting very cold. More cold than I was used to. And I decided I'd better turn around. Well, by that time, I could barely move my feet. And I knew I had to get to the actual skin to try to warm them up. So, sitting in the snow at about whatever degrees it is now, probably 5 or 10 degrees, I took off the ski shoe and my moist sock. I'm sorry about the word moist, but we're going to have to get used to it because sometimes we have to use words we don't want to. And the sock was moist and my foot was just solid. It was just solid. It was almost frozen. And I went about rubbing it feverishly. Maybe they could call that footsterbating. I don't know. But I was acting on some person's niche fetish in the dark of the woods in Gould, Colorado. And to get them warm. So I got one I rubbed for a while, and I had a backpack on me. So I put my foot in the backpack while I rubbed the other foot. And then I got my moist sock back on. Oh, actually, I didn't even put my socks on because they were that M word. I'm sorry, I won't use it anymore. It's making me feel weird. And put the just a shoe back on. It's the best I could do. And I could go a little bit, but then I'd stop and rub my foot and rub my foot and rub my foot. And I'm thinking, I'm toast. I'm fucking toast. Like, I was probably a mile from the house. And there was a while there where I just had a rhythm. I had a rhythm going. I was really proud of it. And that's the thing with me. Like, when things are going well, I often don't think about how they might not. And so I'm on the might not part of the trip. And I could go a little bit, and then I sit down, and I gotta rub my feet. Well, by now, my hands are not working. And I'm like, I think this is the gradual shutting down of the human body. And I had heard that, you know, hypothermia involves kind of a gentle warmness that soothes you to death. And I'm pretty sure I was beginning to feel the gentle soothing because I had just gone through something like giggle hysterics like a psycho Tickle Me Elmo, just sitting alone and petting his feet. And I realized, like, shit, Christmas, this is not good. I don't even know if I could stand up because my feet are so jank. But I keep getting back in the shoe, keep skiing, and it's crispy. It's like frozen snow, and it's scratching my ankles and getting in the shoe. I'm shaking. If you're a rescue person watching this, you probably already identified like 10 things that, hell, if you want to use me as a public service announcement for future rescue trainings, please do. And then I just can't. I just sit. I'm like, fuck sickle. I'm screwed. And I hear this noise, which adds to the screwed feeling. In a way, it was a mixed emotion, like, okay, perhaps this hungry beast will put me out of my misery. And the animal that burst through the woods was none other than my father, who, in my ill-advised tactic to avoid a discussion about my D in algebra, had enough time to cool off and save his energy to try to save his middle child. And my dad, with actually no discussion, I don't think. Think of an awkward silence that lasts about 40 minutes. I said, oh, hey, I've got a little problem with my feet, and I don't know if I could, and he just grabbed me and threw me over his shoulder. My skis flung into the snow to be left for the next time I had to go and get him, I believe, the next day, and threw me over his shoulder. And doing so, my backpack emptied its contents. A Snicker bar fell in the snow. I remember reaching like, no! Candy bars are far and few between in the house, where my mom thought Wicker was a healthy snack. And it's probably out there somewhere right now. It's probably a whole generation of bugs and rodents thrived on that Snicker. It's probably like Revel. There's probably a statue in an underground enclave of rats that they're like, the Snicker that saved us in the winter of '87. They probably even invented a god. There's Bibles written around this Snicker bar that dropped into the snow and was left bereft. No me there to devour it. But I could do nothing but bounce over my father's shoulder as he snowshoe tromped his way back to the house. And I can't imagine that was an easy endeavor. 6th grade, I was pretty fit. By 7th, not so much. It's getting a little rotund. It's a Shrek-shaped cylinder with tiny stems tossed over a bear's back and lobbed home, where we made it safely. And my dad still said nothing as he dropped me on the concrete by the fire and went upstairs to bed. I gotta take my glove off now. That would have been an amazing ending, but I gotta do. Whew.